Welcome back. John Bachman sitting in for Ed Berliner today. It is the most wonderful time of the year for a lot of sports fans out there, or perhaps the most ridiculous if you don't enjoy complete college football saturation. There's also a controversy over Sports Illustrated's Sportsman of the Year. Some people thought an animal more appropriate than man. We're talking about species, not sex. Also, is it time to call sports fantasy sites like FanDuel and DraftKings what they really are, online sports books? And finally, we'll talk about LeBron James proving once again it's not always so glamorous sitting courtside. With us now, Rick Horrow, CEO of Horrow Sports Ventures, and Kate Delaney, NBC Sports radio host and author of Invade the Man Cave, Sports Secrets Guys Don't Share. It's great to have you both with us. Let's start with the Sports Illustrated Sports Woman of the Year, I should say. It was American Pharaoh, the horse, versus Serena Williams, but some people were complaining because they didn't go with the horse. Rick, what's up with this?
What's up with it is we have a horse that's won the Triple Crown for the first time in millions of years, a horse that, frankly, is now out to a prolific stud opportunity, has an incredible endorsement portfolio, is kind to his owner, frankly, is one of the best athletes of our generation. And then there's Serena Williams. So, you know, the bottom line is you could go with either the two-legged or four-legged variety. And as I understand it, obviously there has been a precedent set. Secretariat was the horse of the year years ago. So there's no reason why you can't have a four-legged recipient as well as a two-legged recipient. Maybe Serena riding American Pharaoh. How's that?
But that would be interesting. They should have gone with that picture instead. But, Kate, when you look at Serena's year that she had, overcoming a lot of injuries, battling back from being behind in a lot of those matches, it's unrivaled in men's and women's tennis. I have to agree with Sports Illustrated on this pick for what Serena was able to accomplish this year, and perhaps maybe the best professional athlete in any sport in terms of dominating her field. What do you think?
Yeah, John, I totally agree with you 100%. I mean, listen, she lost 3 matches the whole year. She got knocked out. She almost had the natural Grand Slam. She just lost in the semis to Roberta Vinci. And it's just an incredible run. You think of what an emotional year, too, because she finally went back to Indian Wells after leaving the court and never coming back since 2001. She's 34 years old. In tennis, when you're a woman, 30 is an old lady. I think she deserved to be on the cover. I just got mine, ironically, an hour ago in the mail. I read it cover to cover before we got on the air because I was so fascinated by it. I've interviewed her. I think she's incredible. I just think she has her character assassinated all the time.
Oh, yeah. She's had to deal with a lot of scrutiny, a lot of unfair scrutiny as well. Let's talk about these online fantasy sites. The Washington Post reporting today that Maryland officials are now reviewing online fantasy sports operations. They're under scrutiny in New York, and we can understand why they'd be under scrutiny in Nevada. But, Rick, can we just call these things what they actually are, online sports books?
Well, no, because you can call them legal under the 2006 iteration of the Internet gambling law that's been evolving. That was done, by the way, at a time where fantasy was in a far different place. And I think whether you call it gambling or an aardvark, the bottom line is that at the end of the day, it is a play for tax money as well as a play for regulation. And I think the fantasy industry is excited about participating in that regulation because they have no leverage. And by the way, I think Kate is only supporting Serena because she doesn't want to get her mad. American Pharaoh can't get mad because he can't speak.
He's got when you put out, he's got a pretty cushy gig. I don't think he's complaining at all. I think it's personally time just to legalize online sports books anyway, because you can go and bet in someplace in Costa Rica or overseas in Ireland. What's the big deal? I agree with you, Rick. This is about these states. You look at New York, you look at Maryland, the People's Republic of Maryland. They just want the tax revenue. Don't you think, Kate?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't understand it because it shouldn't be controversial. I do not get it at all. I think Rick made a great point. You go back to 2006. It makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. It's about greed, it's about power, and it's about money in the end. And Uncle Sam wants some of that money, then they should just tax it. Let's just
let's just rip the Band-Aid off and call it what it is. Yeah. It's gambling. Let's make it legal. Nobody really cares because they'll do it anyway. Let's talk about the college football bowl season. I am a college football junkie. This is the sport that I follow closer than any other, and so I binge towards the end of the year here because we go so long without college football. But, Rick, is this really doing anybody good? You see so many empty seats during these bowl games. When is it going to stop? I mean, it seems like maybe there are too many bowls out there.
Right behind me is Marlins Park. The Miami Beach Bowl makes a claim for the center stage on Monday. Nobody knows who's playing. The bottom line, however, is, are there too many bowls? Absolutely not. The 80 teams, even though 5-7, Minnesota, San Jose State, and Nebraska this year, for the first time, academic progress rate decides which of the 5 and 7 teams go. Why? Because 6 and 6 teams, there aren't enough of them, even though there are 11 of them. So clearly, it is not a test to see who the best team in the country is. We've got the playoff for that.
Right.
But you've got avid fans, avid sponsors, a network that wants to gobble up everything. And the bottom line is, for that niche, they carry the day those days, even though nobody knows who's playing behind me come Monday.
Well, I guess it's more of a television event than an actual event where you actually want to go see these teams play, Kate, but the players seem to really enjoy these games. And I guess if the academic aspect is involved in this, that's got to be a net plus for college football.
I agree. And plus, to Rick's point, I don't think there are too many bowl games either. Finally, we have a playoff system, so that's the beauty. Year 2 of that, we'll have a national champion. And for the other schools, it's about money, too, because the bigger bowls bring in big money. Think of the Fiesta Bowl and think of Notre Dame and what that means to Notre Dame, for example.
I guess there's some revenue sharing, too. One last thing we got to talk about, less than a minute to go. LeBron taking out Jason Day's wife courtside. Is fan safety an issue, or is it incumbent upon the fans to be more aware at these games?
Well, it's incumbent upon the fans to be more aware, especially if they pay the big bucks for the courtside seats. But you can't put the netting that you're going to put at baseball stadiums between the fans and the players on a basketball court. You just got to be a little careful. Jason Day, by the way, you see the film of him. I guess he's got to protect his.
You got to take one for. You got to take one for the wife, guys. Unfortunately, we're out of time. It's great to see you, Kate Delaney, Rick Horrow. We'll see you guys again soon.